Hello and welcome to my technical video for indie game development. When the game starts up, the player is greeted with this screen. The player has the option to start the game, which will load any save data they have, erase the save data they have, or quit. They can also change the volume of the game sounds using the volume slider up here. The volume is saved for player prefs so it can be loaded upon game load, so the player doesn't have to keep resetting it. We have the controls here for what the player needs to know. Let's erase the save data so we have a fresh save. Good. I'm going to set the volume to low and start. Let's take a look at the gathering system. When accessing a tree, the player can press the E button to gather an item. Then it is added to the player's inventory. The player can then use this item to interact with an interactable in the scene. This one requires wood to activate, so if I press the E button, it will light the fire. If we progress down through the map, we can see we have a building. When the player approaches the building and goes through the door, the roof will phase out and the player will be able to see what's inside the building. Here you can see we have an item that requires stone and another one that requires wood. Let's quickly grab the wood and the stone and build the items. Here we've got an apple from this tree, so we'll have to find another one. There is a random chance that you'll get either wood or an apple. After interacting, I can press E. This one requires wood and stone to produce the item. Each item is made. These all use a base machine code script, which basically, these use a machine base. These all inherit from a script called machine, which allows them to take an item, be built by the item, and then take multiple items, and then craft an item. For example, if I quickly grab another stone and wood, I can then craft whatever this table will be crafting. As you can see, the table begins to craft. By the icon. It has now created the item, so I can walk over it and press E to pick it up and add it to my inventory. This is a pickaxe, which allows me to interact with a rock. On pressing E, it will start mining this coal rock for some coal. After the rock has finished being mined, it drops the coal and the pickaxe, which can then be used again to continue mining. This is the main loop of my game. The player is able to craft the item, then use it for what they need to. For example, this iron sheet could be used to fix a bridge maybe, but unfortunately for this one requires wood. Next, let's take a look at these challenges as you can see here. This one requires 3 wooden planks and a saw to craft one part of the bridge. If I go north, this way, you'll see a few more challenges. If we enter this building here, we'll see one of the challenges. There is an exclamation mark, so it's not too easy to guess what might be needed for the challenge. Here you can see I have the item which will require for this, so if I press E to interact on it, it breaks the bars, and I grab the orb, and I can take the orb back to the circle. As you can see, the game is turning to night, and now the spirit has spawned and will begin chasing me. It can move slightly faster than I am, so I have to watch my stamina, which is sadly low because I have not eaten in a while. If I grab this apple here, I can increase my stamina and run for longer. If the spirit catches up, she'll deal a heart damage and then teleport away, like this. The player goes red, and a noise is played to show that the player has taken damage. If I press F to consume this apple, I will gain a heart back. Next, let's have a look at the save load system. If I grab an item from this tree and drop it on the floor, and then go up here and find another item from this tree, I can hold on to it. I can then press escape. If I hit save, the game saves. If I exit to main menu, you'll see I can hit start now, and I'll resume exactly where I was, with the item on the floor, my inventory. Let's have a look at the death animation. As you can see, when you die, it plays an animation, displays the game over. When the player clicks, it returns to main menu. If you hit start now, it'll go back to where you were before you died. So if you do not save before you die, you'll go back to the last save point. The game uses sprite masks to form this light effect around my character. As you can see, it is fading to day, so therefore the spirit's been despawned and the effect will slowly dissipate once it's fully daytime. There are many challenges for the player to complete, but let's have a look at the win system for my game. As you can see here, I have the last orb for the game. If I press E here, it will interact and say escape to press any button to return to main menu. It also shows the time taken for me to complete the game. Upon click, it will play an animation and return to the title screen. Now that I've shown the features, let's take a look at the code. First, let's have a look at the save data script. As you can see, I've used the binary formatter to write a game data to my file. The game data is stored down here and stores all the variables about the player, so the game can be loaded with the same data that it was saved with, so the player feels like they are continuing the game. If there is no save data when it starts, it creates a new file. Here we have the rock script. It checks the item in your inventory that you have active to see if it is a pickaxe. If it is, it begins mining. It plays an animation. It then waits, spawns an axe, and spawns the item it's supposed to spawn, such as iron for the iron rock or coal for the coal rock. Here's an example of one of the challenge scripts. These are all very similar, so I'll just show the whole one. This one has a water level in it, so it takes the item from your inventory. If it's the item it requires, which is a full water, it deletes it. If there's any item it needs to add back in, it'll add it, such as the empty pot. It then increases the water level. The water level is then checked, and then if it's equal to a certain amount, it spawns an orb. Here you can see an iSaveable. The iSaveable is an interface which is here. I will open it now to show you what's inside. Inside the interface is just a void for save. It is run from the save data manager itself. How it works is, it finds all items that have implemented the iSaveable class and runs the save function so they can be transferred to the data, which is then saved into the file. The ghost is very simple. It just runs towards the player, and if the player hits, it does damage and then disappears to another random point on the map. The vanishing sprite is actually separate to the ghost sprite and is actually spawned when the ghost hits the player or needs to vanish. Here is the building script. It's very simple. It just uses alpha to fade in and back out, depending on if the player is inside or inside. Here is the time manager. This one took quite a while to implement. This works on the time of day and the time taken, which are both saved into the file when the game is saved. There is two darkness renderers over each other, which are sprites with just a black texture, which are for the darkness, and the alpha of them are faded in and out depending on if it's light or dark. I will show you this now. As you can see on the player, there is two sprite masks, one in and one out. They are on set layers, so that if I activate a darkness manager, say dark 1, which is the see-through one, only that one is de-rendered by that sprite renderer. Let's grab its material and set it to full. As you can see, it's now got a thick outer layer. That is the darkness one. If I grab this darkness one and I set it to full, you can see it's grabbed again. If I combine both of them, however, using this and this one goes to transparent to add the effect. As you can see, we have the lighting effect that's used in the game. Thank you for watching my technical video for my indie game development game, Survivor.